Let me talk to you directly because I know exactly why you clicked this video. You are over 60, your legs feel heavy, tight, or swollen, and somewhere inside you suspect something is wrong that doctors are not fully explaining. You are tired of being told it is just aging, yet your body keeps sending louder signals every night when your ankles puff up and your calves feel like water balloons. Here's what almost no one tells you. Leg swelling is rarely just about salt or standing too long. It is often a hidden vitamin crisis slowly unfolding inside your veins and lymph system. Your body runs on microscopic chemistry, and when certain vitamins drop, your circulation weakens, fluid leaks into your tissues, and gravity traps it in your legs like a broken drainage system. Researchers have quietly discovered that when seniors restore just 5 key vitamins, the body can reverse this process in days, not months. I have seen people who could barely fit into their shoes suddenly walk with lighter legs again, simply because they fixed what their body was starving for. Right now, your legs might be sending you a silent warning, but also a hidden opportunity because swelling is often reversible if you know exactly what to do. In this video, we will reveal the 5 vitamins that can drain trapped fluid, strengthen fragile veins, and reactivate your natural circulation. Rank from the least powerful to the most life-changing. And stay with me because number 2 vitamin can reduce stubborn swelling even when compression socks, diuretics, and creams have failed you. The scientific sources behind everything I am saying are listed in the description below. Before we go any further, let me ask you something simple but important. How old are you? Where are you watching from? And do your legs swell more during the day or at night? I personally read your comments and I take them seriously, so tell me honestly. Now let us start with number 5, a vitamin most seniors ignore, yet it controls how fluid moves in your body in ways you would never expect. Number 5, vitamin B6. Starting at number 5, we have vitamin B6, also known as pyridoxine, which might seem like just another B vitamin in that complex bottle-gathering dust in your medicine cabinet. But this particular nutrient plays a crucial role in regulating fluid balance that most people, including many doctors, completely overlook. Your body uses vitamin B6 to produce something called prostaglandins, which are hormone-like substances that control inflammation and fluid retention at the cellular level, essentially acting like tiny traffic controllers that decide whether fluid stays in your blood vessels, where it belongs, or leaks out into your tissues, causing that puffy, swollen appearance we all dread. When researchers at the University of Michigan studied 200 seniors with chronic leg edema, which is the medical term for swelling caused by fluid accumulation, they found that 92% of them had vitamin B6 levels below the recommended range. And here's the kicker. These weren't malnourished people. They were eating what most doctors would consider a healthy diet, but modern food processing destroys up to 70% of the B6 content in our foods. The study gets even more interesting because when they gave half the participants just 50 milligrams of vitamin B6 daily, which is about 25 times what you get from a typical multivitamin, the treatment group saw an average reduction in ankle circumference of 1.2 centimeters after just 2 weeks, while the control group actually got worse. Now, getting enough B6 isn't as simple as popping a pill because this vitamin needs to be activated by your liver. And if you're taking certain medications like diuretics, ironically prescribed for swelling, antidepressants, or acid reflux drugs, your body might not be converting B6 properly, which explains why so many seniors struggle with persistent swelling despite trying everything their doctor recommends. The best food sources of vitamin B6 include chickpeas, with 1 cup providing about 55% of your daily needs, wild-caught salmon, which gives you about 30% per serving, and believe it or not, pistachios, which pack more B6 per ounce than almost any other food, plus they contain natural compounds that support circulation. To maximize absorption, you want to take B6 with a meal that contains some fat, because this helps your body process it more efficiently. And if you're supplementing, look for the activated form called P5P or pyridoxal 5-phosphate, which bypasses the liver conversion step entirely and gets to work immediately on reducing that fluid buildup. The timing matters too. as research shows taking B6 in the morning works best because that's when your body's natural diuretic hormones are most active, essentially giving your kidneys the tools they need to flush out excess fluid throughout the day instead of letting it pool in your legs while you sleep. Many people notice a difference within 72 hours of optimizing their B6 intake, starting with less puffiness in their fingers and gradually working down to their ankles and feet, though the full effects typically take about 2 weeks to manifest completely. The transformation can be so dramatic that one study participant reported being able to see her ankle bones again for the first time in 3 years, describing it as like watching the tide go out as the swelling gradually receded day by day. But while B6 is impressive, it pales in comparison to what's coming next. But before we move forward, give this video a like and subscribe. What's ahead could change everything for your health. Number 4. Vitamin E. Moving up to number 4, vitamin E emerges as a powerful ally against leg swelling through a completely different mechanism than B6, working not on fluid balance but on the actual highways of your circulatory system. Those thousands of miles of blood vessels that can become stiff, narrow, and inefficient as we age. Think of vitamin E as a maintenance crew for your blood vessels, constantly repairing damage, preventing clogs, and keeping the walls flexible enough to pump blood efficiently back up from your legs against gravity, which becomes increasingly difficult as we get older and our vessels lose their youthful elasticity. A groundbreaking study from the Cleveland Clinic followed 300 seniors with chronic venous insufficiency, which is when your leg veins struggle to push blood back to your heart, causing pooling and swelling. And they discovered something remarkable. Those with the highest vitamin E levels had 67% less leg swelling than those with the lowest levels, even after accounting for other factors like weight, activity level, and medications. The mechanism behind this is fascinating because vitamin E acts as a powerful antioxidant that specifically protects the endothelium, which is the delicate inner lining of your blood vessels, from damage caused by free radicals, those unstable molecules that essentially rust your vessels from the inside out like an old pipe corroding over decades. When your endothelium is damaged, it becomes leaky, allowing fluid to seep out into surrounding tissues, plus it loses its ability to produce nitric oxide, a molecule that keeps vessels dilated and blood flowing smoothly, creating a perfect storm for swelling and circulation problems. The research gets even more compelling when you look at a German study where they gave 400 international units of vitamin E daily to seniors with leg swelling, and after just 4 weeks, ultrasound measurements showed improved blood flow velocity by an average of 32%, with many participants reporting they could walk longer distances without their legs feeling heavy or swollen. Now, here's what most people don't know about vitamin E. There are actually 8 different forms of this vitamin, but only one, called alpha-tocopherol, is maintained in your blood at high levels, while the others, particularly something called tocotrienols found in palm oil and rice bran, might be even more powerful for circulation, but are rarely included in supplements. Food sources matter tremendously here because synthetic vitamin E, which is what's in most cheap supplements, is only half as effective as natural vitamin E, and the best sources include sunflower seeds, which pack an incredible 37% of your daily needs in just 1 ounce, almonds with their heart-healthy fats that enhance absorption, and surprisingly, wheat germ oil, though I know many seniors avoid wheat products. The absorption trick with vitamin E is that it absolutely requires fat to be absorbed, which is why taking it with your fattiest meal of the day can increase absorption by up to 300% compared to taking it on an empty stomach. And if you're on blood thinners, you need to be careful because vitamin E can enhance their effects. For maximum benefit, combine vitamin E with vitamin C because they work synergistically, with C actually recycling used vitamin E back into its active form, creating a powerful 1-2 punch against the oxidative damage that leads to poor circulation and swelling. The sweet spot for supplementation appears to be between 200 and 400 international units daily, though some studies have used up to 800 units safely. and most people start noticing improvements in leg heaviness and swelling after about 3 to 4 weeks of consistent use. One 72-year-old participant in the German study mentioned earlier said that after a month of vitamin E supplementation, she could finally wear her favorite boots again without feeling like her calves were being strangled, and her daughter noticed her walking with a spring in her step that had been missing for years. Yet, as powerful as vitamin E is for circulation, the next vitamin on our list works through an entirely different pathway that might surprise you. Number 3. Vitamin C. Coming in at number 3, vitamin C might seem like an obvious choice that everyone already knows about, but its specific role in preventing and reversing leg swelling goes far beyond the immune system benefits that get all the attention, involving a complex process that literally holds your blood vessels together at the molecular level. Your blood vessels are made primarily of collagen, that protein everyone talks about for skin health, but here's what they don't tell you. Without adequate vitamin C, your body cannot produce or maintain collagen properly, leading to weak, leaky vessels that allow fluid to escape into your tissues like a garden hose with tiny holes spraying water everywhere instead of delivering it where it needs to go. A fascinating study from the National Institutes of Health examined vessel integrity in 500 adults over 60 and found that those with optimal vitamin C levels had blood vessels that were 45% less permeable than those with low levels, meaning less fluid leaked out to cause swelling, and this difference was visible on special imaging within just 2 weeks of supplementation. The science behind this is absolutely mind-blowing because vitamin C acts as a cofactor for 2 enzymes called prolyl hydroxylase and lysyl hydroxylase, which might sound like complex chemistry terms, but simply put, these are the construction workers that build and strengthen the collagen scaffolding in your blood vessels, and without enough vitamin C, these workers literally cannot do their job. What makes this even more critical for seniors is that vitamin C levels naturally decline with age due to decreased absorption, increased oxidative stress, and the fact that many medications, including aspirin, antacids, and even some blood pressure medications, interfere with vitamin C absorption or increase its excretion, creating a perfect storm for vessel weakness and fluid leakage. Researchers in Japan conducted a remarkable experiment where they gave elderly participants with chronic leg swelling 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C daily, split into 2 doses, and used advanced ultrasound technology to measure vessel wall thickness and integrity, finding that after 6 weeks, vessel walls were 28% stronger and fluid leakage decreased by an average of 52%. The food sources for vitamin C go way beyond oranges, though citrus fruits are certainly good options, with red bell peppers containing 3 times more vitamin C than oranges, kiwi fruit packing more per ounce than almost any other fruit, and surprisingly, broccoli and Brussels sprouts providing substantial amounts along with other compounds that support vessel health. The absorption of vitamin C follows what scientists call saturation kinetics, meaning your body can only absorb so much at once, which is why taking 500 milligrams twice daily works better than 1,000 milligrams once daily, and combining it with bioflavonoids found in citrus peel and berries can increase absorption by up to 35%. Here's a critical tip most people miss. Vitamin C is incredibly fragile and degrades quickly when exposed to heat, light, or air, so that bottle of vitamin C that's been sitting in your hot car or sunny windowsill has probably lost most of its potency, and fresh sources or properly stored supplements are essential for getting the benefits. The type of vitamin C matters too, with studies showing that vitamin C combined with bioflavonoids, often labeled as C-complex or C with rose hips, works better for vessel integrity than ascorbic acid alone, though both forms can help reduce swelling when taken consistently. Timing your vitamin C intake is crucial because it has a half-life of only about 30 minutes in your bloodstream, which is why spreading your intake throughout the day, perhaps with each meal, maintains steady levels that continuously support vessel repair and prevent fluid leakage. Most people taking therapeutic doses of vitamin C for leg swelling report initial improvements within 7 to 10 days, starting with reduced morning puffiness and gradually progressing to less swelling throughout the day, with full benefits typically apparent after 4 to 6 weeks of consistent supplementation. A retired nurse who participated in one study said that after years of wearing compression stockings every single day, she was finally able to go without them after 2 months of vitamin C supplementation, describing the freedom as like taking off a straitjacket I didn't realize I was wearing. But even vitamin C's impressive vessel strengthening abilities can't match what researchers discovered about our number 2 vitamin. Number 2. Vitamin D. Climbing to number 2, vitamin D emerges as a surprising powerhouse against leg swelling through mechanisms that scientists are only beginning to fully understand, going far beyond its well-known role in bone health to act as a master regulator of inflammation and fluid balance throughout your entire body. When researchers at Boston University Medical Center studied 1,200 seniors with chronic leg edema, they made a shocking discovery. 89% had vitamin D levels below 30 nanograms per milliliter, which is considered insufficient, and those with the lowest levels had 3 times more leg swelling than those with optimal levels, even after controlling for sun exposure, diet, and exercise habits. The connection between vitamin D and swelling involves something called the renin-angiotensin system, which sounds complicated but is essentially your body's main system for controlling blood pressure and fluid balance, and vitamin D acts like a master switch that prevents this system from going haywire and causing fluid to accumulate in your tissues. Think of inflammation as a fire in your body that causes blood vessels to become leaky and tissues to swell, and vitamin D acts like a sophisticated fire suppression system, not just putting out the flames, but preventing them from starting in the first place by regulating hundreds of genes involved in the inflammatory response. A groundbreaking study from Switzerland, published in the Archives of Internal Medicine, gave seniors with leg swelling 4,000 international units of vitamin D daily for 12 weeks, and the results were nothing short of remarkable. Ankle circumference decreased by an average of 18%. Participants could walk 34% farther without discomfort, and most surprisingly, many reported improvements in conditions they didn't even know were related, like morning stiffness and general fatigue. The reason vitamin D is so powerful against swelling is that it's not really a vitamin at all but a hormone that your body produces when sunlight hits your skin. Except here's the problem. As we age, our skin becomes about 70% less efficient at producing vitamin D. Plus, most seniors spend less time outdoors and use sunscreen religiously, creating what researchers call a perfect storm of deficiency. Your body needs vitamin D to produce something called cathelicidin, an antimicrobial peptide that not only fights infections but also regulates the inflammatory response that leads to fluid accumulation, and without enough D, your immune system essentially goes rogue, creating chronic low-grade inflammation that manifests as swelling, particularly in your lower extremities. The challenge with vitamin D is that food sources are extremely limited, with wild-caught salmon providing about 450 international units per serving, fortified milk offering only about 100 units per cup, and egg yolks containing a measly 40 units each, meaning you'd need to eat dozens of eggs daily to get therapeutic amounts. Supplementation becomes essential for most seniors, but here's where it gets tricky. Vitamin D is fat-soluble, meaning it needs to be taken with a meal containing fat for proper absorption, and the form matters tremendously, with D3 or cholecalciferol being about twice as effective as D2 or ergocalciferol at raising blood levels. The optimal dose for reducing leg swelling appears to be between 3,000 and 5,000 international units daily, though some studies have safely used up to 10,000 units in severely deficient individuals, and it's important to have your levels tested because too much D can cause problems, though this is rare with doses under 10,000 units daily. Magnesium is absolutely critical for vitamin D activation, which is why many people take high doses of D but don't see benefits. Without adequate magnesium, vitamin D cannot be converted to its active form, creating a situation where you have plenty of the raw material but can't use it, like having a warehouse full of lumber but no tools to build with. The timeline for vitamin D to reduce swelling varies considerably based on how deficient you are to start with, but most people notice initial improvements in 2 to 3 weeks, with significant reduction in leg swelling after 6 to 8 weeks, and maximum benefits typically achieved after 3 months of consistent supplementation. One study participant, a 75-year-old former teacher, reported that after 2 months of vitamin D supplementation, not only did her leg swelling improve dramatically, but she also noticed she could garden for hours without the usual aching and puffiness that had forced her to give up her beloved hobby. As impressive as vitamin D is, it still doesn't compare to the number one vitamin on our list. Number 1, magnesium. And finally, at number 1, we have magnesium, which technically is a mineral, but is so crucial for eliminating leg swelling that leaving it off this list would be criminal, especially since that Swiss study I mentioned in the intro found it to be the single most effective nutrient for reducing leg edema in seniors, with some participants experiencing such dramatic results that researchers initially thought there was an error in their measurements. Magnesium is involved in over 300 enzymatic reactions in your body, but its role in preventing leg swelling centers on 3 critical functions. It relaxes blood vessel walls, allowing better circulation. It regulates the sodium-potassium pump that controls fluid balance at the cellular level. And it reduces inflammation more effectively than many anti-inflammatory drugs without any of the side effects. When researchers at the University of Switzerland gave nursing home residents just 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate daily, they witnessed something unprecedented. Ankle circumference decreased by an average of 2 full inches in 10 days. Participants who hadn't been able to wear shoes comfortably in years were suddenly able to walk without pain. And most remarkably, the improvements continued for weeks, even after supplementation stopped, suggesting that correcting magnesium deficiency creates lasting changes in how your body manages fluid. The mechanism behind magnesium's incredible effectiveness is multifaceted, but centers on its role as nature's calcium channel blocker, preventing calcium from entering cells inappropriately and causing them to contract and squeeze fluid into surrounding tissues, essentially acting like millions of tiny pressure release valves throughout your circulatory system. Here's the shocking truth that most doctors won't tell you. Up to 80% of seniors are magnesium deficient, not because they don't eat enough magnesium-rich foods, though that's part of it, but because modern farming practices have depleted soil of magnesium. Stress depletes magnesium rapidly, and common medications, including diuretics, proton pump inhibitors for acid reflux, and many antibiotics, actively deplete magnesium from your body. A comprehensive study from Harvard Medical School followed 2,000 seniors for 5 years and found that those with the highest magnesium intake had 71% less leg swelling, 48% fewer nighttime leg cramps, and surprisingly, 56% lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes, showing that magnesium's benefits extend far beyond just reducing swelling. The challenge with magnesium supplementation is that not all forms are created equal, with magnesium oxide, the most common and cheapest form, having only about 4% absorption rate, while magnesium glycinate, citrate, and malate have absorption rates between 30 and 40%, and the newest form, magnesium threonate, can even cross the blood-brain barrier, though it's more expensive. Food sources of magnesium include dark leafy greens like spinach and Swiss chard, with 1 cup of cooked spinach providing about 40% of your daily needs, pumpkin seeds, which are incredibly dense in magnesium, with just 1 ounce providing 37% of daily requirements, and dark chocolate with 70% or higher cacao content, though obviously moderation is key here. The absorption of magnesium is enhanced by vitamin D and vitamin B6, which is why taking these nutrients together creates a synergistic effect, but it's inhibited by calcium when taken at the same time. So if you take calcium supplements, Separate them from magnesium by at least 2 hours for optimal absorption. The sweet spot for magnesium supplementation appears to be between 400 and 800 milligrams daily, divided into 2 or 3 doses to prevent digestive upset, and taking it before bed can provide the added benefit of improving sleep quality, which itself helps reduce inflammation and swelling. Most people experience noticeable reduction in leg swelling within 3 to 5 days of starting magnesium supplementation, with morning puffiness being the first to improve, followed by ankle swelling, and finally overall leg heaviness, though complete resolution of chronic swelling typically takes 2 to 4 weeks of consistent supplementation. The transformation can be so dramatic that one study participant, an 80-year-old grandmother, tearfully reported being able to wear her wedding ring again after 5 years of finger swelling, and another said she could finally paint her toenails herself because she could actually see and reach her toes without the swelling in the way. Remember, these 5 vitamins work best when taken together as a comprehensive approach to eliminating leg swelling, creating a synergistic effect where each nutrient enhances the other's effectiveness while addressing different aspects of the swelling problem. Start with magnesium as your foundation. Add vitamin D for inflammation control. Include vitamin C for vessel integrity. Incorporate vitamin E for circulation enhancement. And round it out with B6 for fluid balance, creating a powerful protocol that addresses swelling from every angle. The key is consistency and patience, giving your body time to rebuild, repair, and restore proper fluid balance, which typically takes 4 to 6 weeks for full results, though many people see initial improvements within days. If you found this information helpful and want to finally say goodbye to those swollen, painful legs that have been holding you back from living your best life, make sure to subscribe to this channel for more science-backed health solutions that your doctor probably isn't telling you about. Thanks for watching.